Hello my friends, very interesting stuff that happened today in Bakhmut. Well, we have this lake over here very close to the city, and the small river goes all across this lake, and this lake has some sort of a dam, and you see that Russia is very close to this river and maybe partially already crossed it. And what Ukrainian forces did today, they just blown up the dam over here, and that increased the water flow to this river, cutting Russians away from the Bakhmut city. That was the only way to stop their offensive action. You can see they're very close to the city. I'm very surprised that they were able to get to the north part of the Bakhmut city that fast, and today they were just cut away by the water. So if you go to the Google Maps, this is the Bakhmut city, and here you can see this lake and the stream that goes between those two villages. I think it goes through this place, and now there is the big river out there that helps actually Ukrainian forces to fight against Russians. But still, this is not a big lake out there, and it doesn't create a threat for locals who decided to stay in the north suburbs of the Bakhmut city. But there's the other information that this dam over here could be blown up by Ukrainian forces, and this lake is much bigger, and it would create the wider river that will actually divide Russians into two parts. So here is the other lake, and if you destroy the dam, this river will just flow and will cut Russians into two groups, the one that crossed this river and the one that remained over there, and basically this group will be out of any supplies. Yeah, I'm a little bit wrong over here because they may provide supplies from this side as well. And this is what happened to that river, basically the huge stream. So I guess maybe the bigger lake was expanded to the river, and definitely it's the new obstacle for the Russian forces out there. But Ukrainian media say that this lake was released, the smaller one that cut Russians away from Yahidne and not letting them into the Bakhmut. About the Bakhmut itself and Russian advancement, let's go to the timeline. It was yesterday. And it is today, so they moved just a little over here. They went close to this river that probably expanded and now much wider. And now to move further, they need to get the engineering equipment to make some sort of the pontoon bridges over there. And they simply cannot stay there forever because we have our artillery that will aim Russians in Yahidne area. Also, we have the movement of the Russian forces north from Donetsk. They enter Krasnohorivka village over here, so it was the day before, sorry, and now it's like that. So they entered this village. So far it's under Ukrainian control, but they're very close to our positions, and basically they were able to capture some of the fields out there. We call it the Vuhledar black hole, where Russian forces disappear somehow. You can see our artillery jab out there, and I'm not sure whether it was filmed before or not, but those are the Russians trying to reach Vuhledar again, and they were under attack again and again. You can see their result. Something interesting about the Russian Defense Minister Shoigu and his family activity in the social media that drive the Russians mad. Well, here is his daughter Ksenia, and she is married on this guy whose name is Alexei. So he is the son-in-law of Shoigu, and he put the link to the opposition resource of the Russian Federation and immediately got criticized by Russians. And this is the screen of some sort of the Russian patriot who sent some of the messages to Alexei, who is the son-in-law of Shoigu, telling him that he is wrong. Yeah, I cannot say the bad words on YouTube. It's the new policy of this resource, and I wonder how can I translate all of this stuff in that case. Well, here Alexei replied with, "I don't care about your Z opinion. Go to the front line and don't comment." He replied in a way showing that that opinion is nothing, it's for losers. And again, we have some of the replies from the patriot that I cannot translate. So now he lives in Dubai with the daughter of Shoigu, and he's against of what is happening and what is done basically by his father-in-law. This is the command center in Bakhmut, and this is the General Syrsky, who is the commander of the eastern flank of the front lines, and he visited the command center. So here we have some of the photos, analysis of the situation live time. We have many drones that help with the air surveillance, and I don't know the location of this, and I wouldn't say if I knew. Iran military officials say that they developed some sort of the long-haul rocket that has the range up to 1,650 kilometers, which is 1,000 stated miles. Yeah, in that case, they may reach Israel and Saudi Arabia easily. But still, it's early to say whether this rocket is capable or not, because the tests are continuing. But if you put here the information that we got the last week about the Iran nuclear program, that now they have uranium-84 and very close to uranium-90 that can be used in nuclear weapons, so this information is quite concerning. Before we get the reports that China may send some of the kamikaze drones to the Russian Federation, but now China still thinks to do it, so China evades sending drones ammunition to Russia for Ukrainian war. Recently, China gave some sort of the peace deal to this war, but definitely it's not what we want. We need to free our territory and not to trade it for the peace deals, because after all, Russia may start the war again. And this is the new Iranian drone called Shahed 149 Gaza. And it's very similar to American drones, I would say, the design of it, where they have all of the technologies to produce those, because they're under the sanctions and definitely they create lots of the threats in the region, but still they're capable to produce some units. Even Russia can't. We'll have 14 of the Mi-8 helicopters from Croatia. They probably have the other types, Western-made helicopters. Well, those are very capable helicopters. And, you know, I was flying around the globe, and in every country I was able to find the Mi-8 helicopter in some sort of the airfield. So this is very popular and reliable model. Obviously, it's not the attack helicopter, it's the transport one, but it may evacuate the wounded soldiers, it may supply some goods. So multi-purpose versatile vehicle. I would like to fly the one. Maybe I'm gonna try to fly helicopters someday in my life. According to the Wall Street Journal information, Scholz and Macron proposed Zelensky the peace agreements with the Russian Federation just recently than Zelensky attended Paris. Nevertheless, we have great support from Germany and France, helping Ukrainian refugees and obviously military help. But some politicians still want to return the old times. But our main ally, the United States of America and also Great Britain, say that Ukraine should decide where to stop, and Zelensky say that we'll stop, then we free all of our territory. And President of France Macron is going to China in April, and obviously they will discuss the situation in Ukraine. Also, Belarusian leader Lukashenko is going to China at the end of this month. The new sanctions from the United States that will touch everyone in Russia basically, because they halt supplyment to Russia and Belarus the smartphones that cost more than $300. Plus air-conditioned systems that are more expensive than $750, microwaves, washing machines more expensive than $300, and other equipment. And Russia cannot produce that stuff. They don't have their own smartphone or something which is capable, let's say. But China may supply their goods to Russia, but still, if it's, for example, iPhone, which was designed and developed by the United States company that just has the factory in China, they still cannot supply the goods to Russian Federation. So welcome good old Soviet times, then the Russians will search some of the goods on a black market.